tonight we are going to talk to a little bit over half a dozen of our six-figure income earners. These ladies are absolute rock stars. I'm going to introduce you to them one by one. Okay, they're going to share a little bit about their story. They're going to give you some bullets. And then, of course, if we have time at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A, so feel free to stay. Go ahead and send out a text message if you want some of your team on here. Some of you are in the works right now, heading in this direction, and I want to encourage you, do not stop what you're doing. Keep doing your money-making activities. Keep plugging in. Get close to people that are winning and having success. Learn what they're doing, copycat every single thing that they're doing, and then if you're going to have success, you want to be able to plug in, right? Because we work together as a team. And so with that said, I'm going to not hesitate here, and I'm going to jump right in. I'm actually going to bring Miss Audra Nichols to the line first. Audra is a presidential ambassador. What's so great about Audra is that she told me no when I first ask her to look at this business. She had no hesitation in telling me to talk to the hand, that she had no desire to look at a business like this. She was a traditional business owner and she wasn't having any part of it. And then of course, later it circles back around, and one of my contacts actually had me sit down at lunch with someone that knew her, and it just, the dots all connected. I didn't end up personally bringing her to the table, but she's still on our team, and she is one of our top income earners, which is so incredibly exciting after all the pushback that she gave. But Audra, you have a heart to serve, and I'm not going to talk anymore. I want you to come to the line. I want you to share what has this whole opportunity has done for you, and then I'll let you take the floor.
Well, thank you, Danielle. First of all, I do want to give you thanks, because it was truly, you loved me where I was at, and because of that, you were able to paint this vision of me, because again, you knew my love language is to help others. And you knew that if you could paint that vision of how I could help others physically and financially, so again, I love you for that. And so thank you. But my background is health and nutrition, and I've been in a health food store for 23 years. So I think you knew that you had a perfect product for me. And I did finally agree. And again, it's just, that's part of what made me so passionate. And I think that's why I have become so successful, is because I share Zilis. I share it with heart and passion. And I don't just share the product, and again, that's what I started doing. But again, now I share with passion the opportunity, because it's all encompassing. If you share this product, I tell people all the time, my team grew organically because I share. And so I love that, but I stayed plugged in. I stayed dialed in, always stayed plugged in. You told me Monday nights are non-negotiable, right? You're on the freedom calls, right? And again, and that's exactly what I did. I stayed plugged in and I stayed dialed in, and I've kept system dependent, because again, why reinvent a wheel? So I just stayed system dependent, but I stayed coachable, and it's just, and really grabbing onto those who've already succeeded, because I want to be the best at everything I do. So why not look up to you and Stephen Thompson and all the tools you guys have given us? And that's what I've done. I just stayed coachable, and I don't quit, because again, we're all here for the long run, and the products are huge. Timing and positioning is everything. So for me, it just fills my cup to see others succeed, and just staying plugged in, staying dialed in, and keep sharing.
I want to say too, when we first started, it didn't happen. She didn't come out of the gate swinging. It was, and this is, so hope you take this with you, all of you that are dialed in tonight, and maybe you're struggling, or you wish people would get into action mode. What she said is so true. You love them where they're at. If they're not quite there, they're not seeing that, it's okay. You don't give up on them. You don't pressure them. You don't keep bugging them with it. But what I did do is I would check in on her, and I would follow up with her, and I treated her just like I would a prospect. If I'm looking at trying to bring someone into the business, she was already in the business, but all she wanted to do at that time was retail it. And so, and she's like, I'm already good. I make a living for my family. And, and it's like, okay, well, how do I actually talk to her about this? Because every time we talk about business about it, she has no desire. And then I started realizing, look how much she loves seeing people feel better. What if she saw people making finances that they weren't able to make, you know? And I think it was the first time when we started having that conversation and I asked, do you have anyone in mind that could use extra money? Maybe they're struggling a little bit. And you're like, well, actually my parents. And then, you know, they don't want to take any money from the kids. They don't want any help. They're very, you know, stubborn like that, but maybe my parents. And that is where it all kind of started. And then I remember the very first time that someone, a single mom, came into your store and told you, wow, for the first time, I didn't have to decide whether to put groceries on the table or to get, you know, get my supplements or pay my electric bill. I could do it because of this business. And then from there, we couldn't stop you because you were just on a mission. It was like, okay, I've seen my parents start earning income and I've seen, you know, a single mom or now it's just anyone and everyone that you have this huge heart for. Is there anything final, and like, of course, we'll come back at the end. Is there anything else like part of your journey that you want to share before we move on to the next panelist?
And I think that's fair for you guys to know because you're going to have people, and I was almost embarrassed to build a team because again, I was against, I had no positive thing and I didn't have any experience myself. But again, so what I loved about it was locking arms, building these teams. I never thought I would be so passionate about building teams and locking arms with people and making these relationships of a lifetime. So again, so just love them where they're at and just realize, you know, you just have to learn their love language or their language and do that from there. So
and now your 22-year-old daughter, now she's 23 or 24 almost. 24. When she was 22, she made a significant rank in our company, what's called National Ambassador. I've lost track of how many Jeep earners you have on your team. You've not just stayed in Indiana, you've literally, you've spanned the whole US now, and that's just super exciting. And to see your whole family driving Jeeps, or when I've pulled up to your families and all of a sudden it looks like a Jeep dealership in your actual driveway. I think it's just amazing. And I'm just excited and very glad to have you part of the team, Audra. And you add so much value. You come to the table with, you know, the world of supplements. And I think that's important that we can all learn to leverage each other's strengths on that. So if you have people that you're introducing and you want to talk about Audra's success stories, and she's also willing to jump on calls and we talk about products sometimes. So thank you, Audra, for serving the team. And you've been such a huge inspiration to me, but I know to all kinds of people. And so keep doing what you're doing because you're killing it, girl. Presidential, on your way to Diamond. And then next I'm going to bring Miss Robin, and we're going to call her the sassy grandma because Robin Rao, I met her. I'll let her actually tell the story. I'll let her give you a little bit of background. But I met her. She lives out in Helena, Montana. And she literally has become one of my dearest friends, just like Audra. All these ladies that you're going to hear from tonight, I feel like they're family. But Robin, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Maybe just share a little bit about your background and some of your bullets or some of your takeaways to give people on how to succeed. How did you become a six-figure income earner? If you don't mind, jump right in.
Hey, thank you, Dani. You know, as I was thinking about what to say and what might reach people to give them hope, one of the things that is very, very clear to me, and I say it all the time, one of the reasons, and maybe the biggest reason I have reached the success I have reached the success of is directly related to you, Dani. Had I not found you, I would not be here today because I would have given up. But you understand the possibility. You believed in me before I believed in myself. You pushed back at me. You were not, you loved me hard enough to know sometimes you had to push back on me and say, no, Robin, no, you need to. I became coachable because of your guidance. And so I say that to encourage absolutely everyone on the call that if you aren't doing well and you haven't reached to your upline, it was by the grace of God that I reached up to Daniel Taylor. I had no idea who she was. But because of the format on this pay it forward model, the minute she saw that I had some interest, she grabbed onto me, and sometimes I was kicking and screaming and she would not let go. That's the whole reason I am here. It's the absolute whole reason that my whole team exists, because of the leadership in Danielle Taylor. It makes me want to cry. I call her my fairy godmother. So I encourage you, go out and find your leader. If you're not having the success that you need, your leader is there. And not only is your leader there, the culture, the coaching is that if you have somebody, and I always say, if they're glowing, you reach out and grab them and help them light the fire. You keep adding wood to her fire, his fire, and help them do that. So my big success is that by the grace of God, I was led to Danielle Taylor, and she was ornery enough to not let me quit, right? So then I'm experiencing some success. And as I learned from Danielle Taylor, it's consistency. It's that, have you committed 5 hours a month to your business? Are you doing the follow-up? And I, like all of us know, I tried to reinvent the wheel. And Dani said, no, Robin, don't do that. I did that. One of the things I loved about this is that she had so much more experience than I did. And so she would see me going down a path that was going to create work or problems. It was not duplicatable. My second thing is, what you are doing, you must be duplicatable. I was recreating things. I was throwing dinners. I was being a host. And Dani said, no, you got to reel this in, because if what you're doing, someone can't step in and say, I can do this. As a matter of fact, I want to say, a gentleman, after I was having some success, met me in Wenatchee, and he said, I was so excited to meet Robin Rao, because I had heard so much about her, this amazing Miss Montana. And he said, and you get up on stage, and he said, I looked at you and I thought, well, hell, if she can do this, I can do this, right? And so that's really such an important thing. Truly, if I can do it, anybody can do it. If you're coachable, if you are duplicatable, please don't make it complicated. And so just through following the plan, we all want to improve. It's a good system. And so I have just followed the plan. I have, because of Dani's coaching, I've created some leaders myself. And that was, one day Dani was in my house and she said, Robin, you must duplicate. I said, what does that mean? And she said, you must create more Robins. And I thought, oh, I can do that. I can grab Sarah and I can say to Sarah, okay, this is what we're going to do, because Dani said, this is what we're going to do. And Sarah was coachable, right? So it was just consistency, changed my life, not only the product, but certainly I'm a retired grandma. I was living off my sugar daddy. I was not looking for a side gig, but this thing ran me down, and I couldn't get away from it now if I wanted to. And truly, I don't want to. I'm not someone who's going to sit home and knit. I'm going to go out and put a dent in the universe. And this has been the most amazing format or platform for me to do that. I love you all. And Dani, you've changed my life. You have changed my life.
Love you right back, girl. I get goosebumps thinking about our story. And it is true, as leaders, you want to care enough to confront people. And I had taken enough falls. I'd made so many mistakes. And then I started realizing, okay, this works, this doesn't, this works, this doesn't. And so when you have someone that says, hey, and she started out, I just want to make $1,000 a month. I don't want to be a burden on my family. I want to, she was retired. She was losing her insurance in a few months, and she wanted to at least just cover that. And I said, let's do it. And then when she tried to cancel on me, I said, wait a minute, I thought you told me you wanted to make $1,000 a month. And what do you mean you're not going to have your call? No, I don't have a cancellation policy. And it was caring enough not to let her give up on her own dreams. Now, you cannot drag people to success, okay? You don't want to drag them. But if you see someone that you know has that potential and they're willing to take a step, when you take a step, and you push a little bit and they come and they say, okay, I'm willing to accept the challenge, then work with them. And yes, there were times you would laugh if you'd ever been in her home where I've slammed my fist on her desk and said, listen to me. And she's like, you little whippersnapper, you listen to me. I'm like, I'll listen to you on marriage. You've been married for what 40 years, but you're going to listen to me on this business. And we would almost squabble like sisters. Everybody in the house would get quiet, stone cold quiet. Like, what is going on here? Now,
why are they yelling? Why are they
yelling? Because that's what you responded to.
It's true. It's true. Absolutely.
If I did
She
that,
said to me one day, listen, when you're making more money than I am, I'll listen to you. And I thought, well, there you go. She's got a great point. And I shut my mouth and then became coachable.
Yeah. And if I have a question about something that she has mastered, obviously I'm coachable too. But thank you so much, Robin. Gosh, we'll have this lifetime friendship with these people, will last an entire lifetime. You cannot put a price tag on that. And speaking of Sarah, do you have
I got to say one more thing, Dani.
Yes.
Just one more thing. What I want to make a string point is if you would let me out of that launch call, this all would be nothing. Sarah wouldn't be here. None of my people would be here, but you held my feet to the fire. I hated you that day. But that was the most important day of my life because you did that launch call. 4 people got signed up and there we went.
And it's not the first time someone's hated me. And that's okay, right? If it turns out that we're best friends for the rest of our life, it was so worth it.
That's right.
You know, and then that leads us to Sarah, and Sarah's got a beautiful story. Sarah is one of her leaders as well, and she's very dear to me as well. I've been out in her market. She makes her home in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. She is engaged to a wonderful man who is a board certified orthopedic surgeon, but Sarah's made her own way in the world, right? She said to me, I want my own thing. Like, I love what my, future husband does, but sometimes, I get lost in those conversations. I want something that I feel good about, that I can actually do, because she's a mom of 7. All right. So I'm going to turn this over to you. My gosh, you look absolutely amazing, Sarah. We love having you on the team. I miss getting face to face with you. But congratulations on your success. You are one of our top 6-figure income earners in our team, and you deserve the credit for that. So please tell them a little bit about your background and also just some of your tips for success.
Sure. So I am a mother of 7, 4 of which are mine. Dr. DeLuca and I each have 3 coming into the game together and have 1 together. So we have 7 total, and it gets crazy here. I'm a medical assistant. I work in orthopedics. And this opportunity presented itself in the most unlikely time. And my oldest son was recovering from very big back surgeries, and it was very complicated. And so when I tell you that I just didn't have time and I was frazzled and I didn't even want to really look at the opportunity, someone had given us a small bottle, and I brought it home and I stole it from the office before I even let Dr. DeLuca see it. And I gave it to my son, and we had great results. We had amazing instant results. And so I knew the product worked and I wanted to try it. And so I called back the person her name was on the label on the bottle. And thank God I did that, because this is that moment where I called that little phone number on the bottle changed my life. And now I'm actually living my dreams. My dreams are coming true. I've retired from being a medical assistant. I did Zilis full time, and now because of Zilis and because of the opportunity that it afforded me, I am now starting other businesses because I am able to, because of Zilis. And I don't have to take out business loans. I don't have to take out personal loans. I'm able to do this because of my income through Zilis, and it's amazing. And it's truly because I had such amazing leadership in you, Danielle, and Robin. You guys took me under your wing, and I always say that, like, I literally got leadership from the best of the best of the best, and you guys have just, coached me, and I don't know how or why, but I listened, and because I listened and I did what you said, I have been very successful and built a team in all 50 states and in Germany and all over Europe now, and it's just kind of blown up, and it's, far beyond what I ever imagined this would be. This opportunity has been just amazing.
And we're just So we're just getting started with it. I don't want you to go anywhere yet. Just for 1 second, the story that I like to tell that some of you have not heard yet is I was actually in Pennsylvania for another team out there. Some teams will take off and grow. Some will just get a little bit of action and then they're just kind of fizzle, that's okay. There's, like I said, I don't pressure people. I work with people that want to work. But Sarah was invited because of that bottle. She went home, her son slept for the first time, and he ended up off of medications, which we can't tell people to do that. But for she and her family to see that, and for her son to get some actual relief from something that was natural, that was huge for Sarah. So she was really intrigued because of that. And she came to the meeting that she got invited to. And I did the presentation up in front of the room. And I noticed her and I noticed her son, because her son was in the wheelchair. And I was like, oh, I hope, because I didn't know who they were, I hope he takes it. You know, I hope she's, but when I walked over to talk to her, she literally turned real quietly and like looked away, like, I don't want to talk to you. And so I took a hint. And I was like, all right, Sarah, that's fine. She doesn't want to talk to me. I didn't know her name yet. And, but my point is, same thing with Audra, or a little bit of pushback from Robin. Not everyone just, so people think, oh, they're just amazingly having success. No, it doesn't always start that way. It's like you said, just one step at a time. And sometimes you have to massage it a little bit. But you know, something else that you took charge of, and I want to commend you for, and same with Robin, all these people on this line tonight, is yes, we taught you, but you also took that baton and you ran with it. You started having your own meetings. You started doing some of your own Zoom calls. You started doing three-way calls with your team, and you empowered other people. And that's what I love to teach. I like, yes, followers are great, but I want to, if you want pure freedom, you want this business to move away from you, so that at some point you can take your foot off the pedal, and there's other people out building teams that are teaching other people to build teams, that continue to build teams. And it makes your work less and less as time goes by. Now, I mean, I still work, I still do it because I love it and I enjoy it, but we have a residual income that most would only dream of. So Sarah, I just want to commend you for that. Is there anything final or anything else you want to add in before we bounce over to the next leader?
I would just say my takeaway and my advice to anybody that's starting out and wants to hit the six-figure mark and beyond is do what your leaders tell you to do. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's already laid out there for you. I tried, just like Robin, trying to do some things on my own. They're like, whoa, do it my way. It works. And they were right. It does. And listen to the presentation over and over again until you get it down. And, you know, I would listen to the recorded presentation in the shower. I would listen to it in my car when I was driving to work. I would listen while I was putting on my makeup, so that I knew what I was talking about. If someone asked me a question, I had at least some knowledge, a little bit, so I could answer people's questions. So do what they tell you to do, listen to the presentation, and get on the freedom calls.
Yes, great advice. And that reminded me of something with Audra, and I want to tell everyone on this call. Audra, when she first started doing the presentation, I was doing them for her. And then one day she called me and she said, I have a doctor coming in. She's actually interested in learning more. Would you be willing to get on the phone and do the presentation? I said, I can't. I said, just pull it up. It's in your resources and just walk through it. So she calls me later and she says, I blew it. I like messed the whole thing up. And I said, yay, let's celebrate. You did it. And then I said, what happened? You know, I was just excited. Who cares if she messed it up? She did it. The lady signed it gold. You know, she came in at the gold package. I was like, see, you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. And so thank you, Sarah. That was amazing. Before we switch out of the Robin team, I want to grab Miss Mindy, because Mindy, Walker Van de Hey as someone else that's very dear to me. This woman just blew me away. And the reason, the minute I met her, she was so quiet and kind of just to herself. And she was in Robin's living room. They're actual family members, they're sister-in-laws. And I said, hi, I said, welcome to the team. And I heard you just joined us. And she's like, yep. And I said, so tell me a little bit more. What are you going to do when you start making money? She goes, I'm just glad my back doesn't hurt. And if I make money, great. But if not, I'm just glad my back doesn't hurt anymore. And I was like, awesome. And then I turned and talked to someone else. Then I went to talk to her again and she was gone. And I thought, where did she go? And I asked Robin, she said, she's probably in the basement. That's just Mindy. She hides. She doesn't really interact with people. I'm surprised she was even up here. And I was like, oh, okay. And then to watch this lady, she was making $650 every 2 weeks at the Missoula, Montana YMCA daycare. This is what she was making before. And do you know that she made well over $100,000 in 2019 and still rocking out an income? I was just blown away. And then before I knew it, she was talking in front of rooms. Her whole persona, her whole light, her whole energy just started to radiate. And I was like, what just happened to this girl that was so quiet? So Mindy, thank you for joining us tonight. You've been a huge inspiration, more than you will ever know. And I want to bring you to the line and let you share just a little bit just tap on your background, kind of some of the tips that you would give the listeners tonight.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Dani. Of course, it's been all you and Robin getting me to where I am right now. And I can't even thank you guys enough from the bottom of my heart. I'm gonna cry. So yeah, I come from pretty humble beginnings, like she said, $6.50 every 2 weeks. I loved my job. I worked with babies. Didn't ever want to leave. Again, like she said, I had seriously crippling shyness. I couldn't talk to anybody. My sister-in-law, Robin, introduced me to this product. I started taking it and people could see a difference in me, and I started feeling better. And once I started feeling better and people started seeing me change, I couldn't keep it quiet, right? I wanted to shout it everywhere. People wanted to know what I was doing. So it just kind of built from there very organically because of me changing with this product. What was I going to say? So yeah, no business experience. I had failed at every network marketing thing I had tried because I didn't like to talk to people. And this is kind of a talking to people business. So now it's just sharing. I share all the time. Like, I can't believe the money that my family has been blessed with through this company. It's incredible. I am very proud to be the top earning regional ambassador in this company. It's very exciting. Over $100,000 in 2019. I mean, never would I have thought that we would be doing this, but it's all thanks to you guys for coaching me and being there.
I want to give you credit too, though. When we were at a hotel event, I invited some of my leaders up as like pockets of teams, and I would say, okay, at such and such a time, Robin, grab your leaders, come to my hotel room. We're going to look at your numbers. We're going to figure out a strategy, and we're going to knock this thing out of the park. So we're sitting in my hotel room, and Mindy's over there, and she's dialed in. She's got the numbers, and this girl is on it. She's like, I need this, and this is how many gold packs it's going to take, da, 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 da. And then she's making phone calls, and I'm sitting there like, quiet girl that wouldn't even talk to me. And now she's over there, and she's on it. And it was impressive, and it still is. And you ended up going on and doing your own presentation, starting your own city meeting, coming to all of
thing. I would never have thought I would love to be up in front of people telling them about this amazing product and this opportunity. I mean, I'm fighting Dani over the microphone when we're together because I love it so much now.
One time we were in a room with 100 people, and I said, and so Mindy, and then I gave her the mic, and I went to grab it back, and she was pulling it. You wanted to keep talking. I was like, oh my gosh. So, but listen to that. Let that inspire you. She literally did not have the self-confidence. She was struggling with social anxiety bad. You know, we can't make claims, but I'm just telling you right now, she literally would not speak to people. And even the family said, it's just her, don't worry about it. And I said, oh, I'm not worried. I just was, you know, like, where did she go? So, and Mindy, just what an inspiration. And your family has become my family. We've laughed so hard. I've about almost tinkled.
Yes.
So the nice thing to say on a call like this, I guess. Brian was here.
For sure.
A lot worse. So, but we've had a blast, and you've become family, and we're just so proud of everything that you've done and that you continue to do, and that you're still so dialed in with us, and that you're fighting the good fight. So thank you so much, Mindy.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to flip over to Dallas, Texas, where we're going to talk about Miss Kim Cloud Skidmore. Kim Cloud, sort of a same kind of a story. You know, in the beginning, she wasn't really sure. She was skeptical. She had all kinds of reservations, and Brian had given me her name, and I thought, I'm gonna go meet the lady. So, right, I went to her spa. I asked if I could come in and just pay a quick visit to her, sat down in her office with she and her son. This is before she really decided to dive in, but was I felt like she was worth having this conversation with because they kept telling me all about her. She has a lot of influence. She's huge in the community. She's a rock star. She runs a huge salon and spa. I'll let her tell you about it. But she also became one of our 6-figure income earners and continues to lead a huge team. She's got another one of her 6-figure income earners on the call. We'll talk to her next. But Kim, love having you on the team. All the things that you bring to the team, you were already successful to begin with, and just added this on top of what you are currently doing. And I think what's most important is that, we dove in a little bit on what do you really want out of this? And you're like, I want land, and I want to be able to, and what's happened? I mean, you've already done that. You've already started seeing that come to fruition. So I'll turn it over to you. I'll let you do your share. And then of course, we'll pull Judy on next.
Okay, well, thank you, Dani, first of all, for the invite. I was extremely honored to be on this call with these particular women. I'm just honored to be part of that. So wanted to say that first. Yeah, I am from a service industry where if there's not a client sitting in my chair, there's not an income. And although I have that large salon and they pay for their workspace, I also have a very large building with a lot of overhead. And so it takes what I do behind the chair to be part of the success of that business. And so I had been approached many times over the years to sell a shampoo or an eyelash serum or something all the time. And I would always push them off on someone that I thought needed that worse than me. And never even knew what residual income was. If I had a day off, I had no money. And so when it was introduced, Zilis was introduced to me, I didn't know what CBD was. I was really suffering from a lot of chronic pain and back problems from 42 years in this industry. The product is what sold me. The recovery that I had, the improvement in my health. I didn't even know that I was stressed out until I took CBD, and I was like, wow, I feel better. So I handle those 52 women a whole lot better than I used to. So it's been such an improvement in my health. I love being mentored, and I love learning about things that I know nothing about. I knew nothing about hemp. I thought it was marijuana. I know nothing about CBD. I knew nothing about multi-level marketing. I knew, and I think I was just so hungry for something, not only to feel better, but hungry for something exciting that brought me joy. And Christopher, my husband, and I love doing this business together. He's in the corporate world. And so I had the salon and he had his job. And so to have something that we can do together and speak together, and we both were a nervous wreck. The first night we spoke, we were sweating and sick to our stomach. And Stephen told me to take 2 drops of CBD before I got up there. And wow, that was like a kicker. I never speak now without CBD. But it's just, I've made so many amazing friends, and just, I've been pushed when I needed to be pushed, but I've also been told, Kim, it's time to rest. Rest this weekend. Bravo, you did good. You made that, maybe that next rank. And so I want you to shut it down for the weekend. I've been told a couple of times from you and from Brian to rest. And so I love that it's an industry that can be added into my life. I say I work it in the nooks and crannies of my life, because we do. I throw a color on and I run in and wrap up product. I shipped out 4 orders today. I am a huge retailer, and a lot of people think it's because of the entire salon. And yes, I'm sure there are people that walk in and come up and purchase Zilis, but it is mainly because of my love for the product, and I can't shut up about it. So that's how Judy became part of this, is because I wanted her to feel what I was feeling. And so I still every single day share the product. I love the way that Zilis is continuing to have new products for us to share. It never gets stale or old that way. Shampoo's kind of shampoo. So it's exciting to have a multitude of things that we can offer to people to help them feel better. So I'm just very inspired by you, by Brian, and by the people on my team. When I'm not on fire, they inspire me and they spark that energy in me as well. So what goes up, it also goes down, and I feel extremely inspired by them.
You know, when we first started together, Brian was on vacation, I think. And I said,
Uh-huh.
Kim, we don't have to wait on Brian. Let's do something. And we ended up getting into your living room. You packed out your living room for me. And it was so much fun. I remember sitting at the kitchen table and we were taking applications and we were sharing product. And we, you know, Christopher was just wonderful. He was running to get me a whiteboard and whatever I needed. It was so sweet. And he's still such a servant's heart. And you guys are such a power couple. But the living rooms, the time we came back, and then Brian and I came and did a training in your living room. And it was like, this is how this business is built. She said in the nooks and crannies, it wasn't just because she stood behind a chair and she had influence. Yes, it helped, but it's not what really what it took for her to build this thing was to get past some of the hurdles that we all face. I guarantee you that she has struggled just like all of us, whether she'd never had this type of business before. And I remember sitting down at a restaurant with you and you saying, okay, it's driving me a little crazy because I'm so driven to get to the next rank. And I'm like, you're going to get there. If you keep doing these activities, don't look behind, just keep looking forward. And sure enough, I just kept seeing your rank move up and the income and the lives blessed and now running your own team. And yes, sometimes we need each other. That's what teams are for, right? If you get weary, you plug into the power source. You get back to the people that lift you up and charge you back up. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about culture. And so Kim, just honored to have you on our team. And of course, now that I'm both in Illinois and in Dallas, I can't wait. We're going to start getting back together and being able to spend some time together. And so I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to bring Judy on. Judy is one of Kim's personal recruits. And Judy also is one of those rock star ladies. I'll let you tell it, Judy, but tell them a little bit about your background. I don't like to embarrass her, but I always say, look at this lady. Like, I want to look like Judy. She's always dressed to the nines. She's very poised. She's very, what I would call diligent about wanting to do things the right way. She's always very organized. That's not me. I wish I were more organized. I have gotten better over the years, but this lady is on it. But again, you don't have to be organized. You don't have to be a salon owner. You don't have to be a store owner. You could be anything, a stay-at-home mom, a granny from, Helena, Montana, a mom of seven, right? I mean, just the diversification here is so important to pay attention to. But this lady here, she blew me away when I first saw her do a presentation live, because she stood up in front of that room and she commanded the room. And it was just amazing to watch, because she did it with grace and she did it with style. And so Judy, I get goosebumps when I think about you too, because you are such a part of our team and now even beyond that. So Judy, I'll bring you to the line.
Well, thank you, Danielle, so much for that. As Kim said, it is such an honor and blessing for me to be included in this group. Oh my gosh, because I respect and admire all of you ladies and your leadership skills so much. I was never looking for a business either. I was a retired school teacher, had been teaching the regular classroom and the gifted, talented students. It was my total passion in life. And I had to retire early to a lot of chronic health struggles, okay? My life got really small for a while and quite challenging. So when these products had such a dramatic effect on my health, oh my gosh, I just couldn't stop sharing it with everyone. I can remember feeling like I just want to shout it from the rooftops, And I guess people could see that passion and see that excitement, and because my business just took off, and I called it I have a new Zilis on life. But Dani, it kind of surprised me that she wanted me to share about my singing background. I normally wouldn't have done that, but most people on here probably don't know I'm a Sweet Adeline, and that is part of a 21,000 member international a cappella singing organization for women. And I started in Sweet Adelines in 1972, singing with my first chorus in Oklahoma City, and then with the world-renowned Rich Tone Chorus, a championship chorus right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I also sang in a few quartets. My last competitive quartet was called Ginger and Jazz, and we sang for 7 years together. before actually winning a gold medal as an international quartet champion with the Sweet Adelines. That was back in 1987 in Hawaii. So we're known as Queens of Harmony once you win that title. But sadly, I had to quit singing as well because of these health issues. But I think it was the work ethic from back in the day of all the rehearsing and the practicing and every detail, getting it just right, but not giving up, you know, that it really helped me stay focused in my Zilis business now. And I met my hubby, Jim, through singing. He's the director of the Vocal Majority, which is a 13-time international men's chorus here in Dallas. And the reason I share that is because, one, we now have a lot of barbershop and Sweet Adeline friends now using the product, and many of them are doing the business and sharing this opportunity. One is actually building a team now in Europe, so a big shout out to Cindy Ellis. But I love that this is changing health and changing lives. Number two, I see that this business has so many similarities between, you know, singing at a competitive level and staying focused on your Zilis business. It's basically all about having a dream, you know, and when you put that to due diligence and you stay focused on making that dream happen, it'll come true. We hear a lot in this business about your why. Well, I didn't really have a why right when I started. I mean, I wanted to share the product, get it into people's bodies and help them feel good like I did and pay off a big medical bill. But I realized very quickly that you got paid very well for helping people feel better. And so that got me very motivated and focused. And earning that Jeep on month 2 and the health insurance on month 3 just added to my excitement and validation. So as with anything that's worthwhile, you know, we have some hurdles along the way, right? And we have to overcome them. I feel like if I can overcome them at my age, any of you can. One, I'm not technically savvy. You know, that is always challenging and a little scary. I don't do a lot of social media with just one company. I have not been in a successful direct sales company and brought a bunch of prospects over into this business, and I don't have a retail business. So at the very beginning, I thought that was, you know, kind of going to be on my downside. But I just realized I'm one person sharing with people I really care about, working the business every single day, a little bit at least, and making a difference along the way. And I feel like anyone can do that. So rather than focusing on those hurdles, I feel like, you know, those are just facts of reality, facts of life you have to deal with. But we all have different hurdles, you know. For me, my steps of success are to stay focused and stay connected. Stay the course. I feel like, you know, I wanted to work fast because I had age going against me. I didn't know how long I'd be around and be feeling good, you know. But I never missed a meeting, a freedom call, and I've stayed connected with my wonderful sponsor, Kim, and now we're such great friends. I'm so grateful for all her help. And our upline, Brian Gasperson, he's always available and returns your calls. And of course, Danielle's incredible support and belief. I really feel like it was Danielle that gave me a little boost of confidence. You know, we have exceptional leadership in this business, but I think in particular in this team. And I don't think you can find that in any traditional business. So we're all here to support and help one another. Two, I felt it was my responsibility to call friends and people I care about, because since the products did work so phenomenally, I thought, what would they think about me if I don't tell them about it? So that kind of got me out of concentrating on how I felt. You know, I was concentrating and I would listen to them and how these products would fit into their health and their life, rather than concentrate on myself and trying to sell a product. And hearing the testimonials back from these people, oh my gosh, that's the most rewarding part of the paycheck. you know, you don't get to this level without helping your team a lot. And I care as much, if not more, about my team's success than I do my own. And I'm going to do everything possible to help make them their ranks and achieve their goals, maybe even to a fault. But lastly, putting my business in God's hands, totally. I truly owe my success to God. And I'm so thankful that He has validated this endeavor. It seems like He has put people in my path. I've listened to Him and I've trusted God, and I thank Him for Stephen Thompson and this life-changing blessing every single day.
Absolutely. I want to second that. I think we all agree on that, that this is divine order. We've seen the hand of God all over this thing. And so I want to glorify that too, because I feel like that's why our lives have been woven together. But Judy, amazing. I'm inspired from this call myself, just listening to all of you. And she made a lot of valid points. I love what she said about a new Zilis on life. How cool is that? I love that little catchy phrase. But she talked about a dream, and she talked about being coachable. She talked about serving her team and being consistent. And yes, she had a background that maybe helped establish some of those habits inside of her, but it was also part of her story. She no longer could do what she was passionate about and what, you know, she had been doing for so long. And this gave her a new Zilis on life, gave her a new opportunity to be passionate and to help other people and have purpose and be able to do it from home in these times. And so, Judy, I know Kim is so proud of you, and I know Brian and all of us, we can't praise you enough. You know, even when you're not in listening mode, we can, you know, Kim and I have had great conversations about you, how proud she is of you and all the things that you do. And so we all believe in you. And I just want to tell you how much you've added value to all of our team, because you don't just serve your team, you serve the team. You serve all of us by just gracing us with your beauty, inner beauty, as well as your outer beauty, but your style and your dedication and your commitment. I mean, all of you, every single one of these ladies that you've heard from tonight, same thread runs through all of us. It's like we all have this heart to want to make the world a better place. And that's certainly the case with Lee Barnes. I don't want to leave her out. We'll wrap this call up. We've got to keep it, you know, timely, but so let me just give you a little bit of background on Lee when I met Lee. Now, Lee didn't get in the game. She wasn't here all of 2019. She was actually in the midst of selling another business, but she quickly climbed to a 10,000 plus income per month. And I mean, she does have network marketing experience. But when I first met her, I thought, oh, this lady's not joking around. She invited me to her house, and she wanted me to stay the night. And I said, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm going to stay in a hotel, right? I was flying back and forth. And she's like, well, at least come have some wine and some cheese and just come sit down with me and get face to face. I was like, I'd love that. I'm actually looking forward to doing that. So I drive over to this beautiful house, and I pull in, and I'm on a phone call, right? That's what we do. We work the business. Well, so I'm driving up into her driveway, and I'm finishing up one of my Zilis calls. And before I know it, my trunk's up. She's got my suitcase out and up the stairs in her spare bedroom, already open. Like, she's got the bed turned down. She's like, you're staying with me tonight. I'm not letting you out of here. And I was like, oh my gosh, lady. But then so glad that I did, because we grew really close, you know, and I've just watched, you know, you've been a very strong leader, because you've already come with some background, and you really do, you're a team player, but you like to go out and run your own team. You're very successful at it. And so would love for you to share with the group what your background is a little bit, and just some successful just tips that you can give to the people. I know we've all been inspired. I'm looking at all these comments, unbelievable. And thank you guys so much. We've had over 100 people on this call for almost an hour now. So
we're gonna go quick.
Yeah, over to you, Lee. I know you and Brent Barnes work the business together. I've been in meeting rooms with you. We've been in living room, back patios. We've done a lot of things, but you also go out and you crush it. So I'm going to let you share and take the floor from here. I'll give you the mic.
I'll make it quick. I honestly didn't mean to pull out of the car and just take over, but I knew that if you're going to be successful, you have to be around people that are successful. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if your background. I was not successful, you know, in other businesses. I've had lots of businesses, and you've had ups, downs, and successes. The biggest problem I always found was if I was too prideful and I didn't listen and learn and be humble enough to learn and grow from others, I learned I would screw it up. And thank gosh, God's had to spank me a couple times to learn that. But when Zilis came into my life, I wasn't looking. And many of you just said the same thing. It wasn't something we were looking for, but I was hurting. And I want to bring up a couple of things everybody has said. Pain, the product changed their life, but they also had a passion. And when you look at a business like this, I think every single person on here needs to understand trends. Trends are the #1 reasons we'll fail, and the #1 businesses do well. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. I'm married to a CPA and a financial advisor. He actually saw it much quicker than I did. I had previously taken a CBD. I thought it was all the same, had 0 results. I used the word snake oil because I really thought he was crazy going into the CBD business. And happened to get a bottle, happened to use the product. And within 3 days, I looked at him and go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And if you've ever had anybody that's used these products, whether it's the topical, whether it's the sleep, maybe it's the, the actual CBD, what I'm finding is they will either cry, they will call you freaked out, and they want to know if it's legal. Or they call you and say, okay, what do we need to do? I want to do this again. I want more. Tell me more. I've never in my life seen a business like that, ever. So of course, I was in another company, and this pay, when my husband ran the math, he looked at me and he said, this is 3 times bigger than what the heck you're doing. And he said, Lee, the trends are off the chart. He goes, let me give you some examples. And I'd encourage you to write this down. I took a lot of notes of all these incredible conversations tonight, but you'll never, ever not get somebody's attention if they're looking at this as a business. If you say these simple things. #1, this is an industry that didn't exist 2 years ago. 80 plus years ago, the government took this out of your body, and your body has to have this to fuel it, period. CBD is an answer to a future in the big pharma world. You were at 800 million 2 years ago. Today, it's at $4 billion. 4 billion with a B in 2 years. You don't just do that if it's bad stuff. You do that because lives are changing. In 2 more years, 24 months, the experts predict $22 billion. If y'all don't get goosebumps, I don't know what will. That should make you go, I cannot sleep tonight. I've got to tell everybody. And then you're looking at an industry that they thought in 10 years would be bigger than corn and tobacco, and it would be 1 trillion. The new expert numbers are now saying 2 trillion. So imagine a product that literally is going to be in every single household in the world. And we're only talking about US numbers, let alone the 17 countries that Stephen Thompson just opened. I can't sleep, guys. I don't know how you're sleeping. I don't know how you're not opening your mouth. I don't know how you're not texting. I don't know how you don't go. I have people that go, well, I don't know how to talk to her. I go, pull out your phone. And I go, did you talk to that one? Did you talk to that one? Did you talk to that one? And if they hadn't, I'm not begging. I'm not going to try to beg. I'm not going to try to explain it. Your mother, your grandma, everybody you know in the next 5 years is going to be using CBD. Are they going to be using Zilis? Are they going to be using another brand? So I have 3 things to just kind of wrap it up. And like I said, Dani, I didn't really know what to share, but one thing I can tell you that I knew this was an answer to prayer. I wanted something that could change lives. Money is not going to make you happy. I don't care who you are. I've traveled the world. I've had some incredible experiences. But I'm telling you, if you're not in an environment you enjoy and around people that encourage you and then you're inspired, you're going to quit. And I will tell you, Zilis's whole family is like that. You've heard these incredible, sweet, precious women that have taken their time to share their passion. I mean, that's it. It resonates through Zilis. It's the most exciting part of this company is the culture. And Stephen, I've known for 24 years, and I've known him since he was 21 when we were in Memphis. And he had that kind of passion. It's brought him up to here, but he's been made for a time like this. He's the next Steve Jobs. Me and my husband say that all the time. You're sitting at a company that's going to be 3 billion, and your friends are going to sit back and go, oh, you were lucky you got in at the, you know, when they were arresting grandma at Disney. Thank you, Dani, for hanging out for the last 5 years and being the say yes person, because she changed my life. She's changed my kids' lives. But number one, you got to find your purpose. And I think in business, I don't care what it is, if you don't know your purpose, you'll never make money. And I don't care what it is, most people lack purpose. And when you can change somebody's health overnight and hear the stories that I get to hear on a daily basis, it'll give you chill bumps. You're excited about life. Number two is be a product of the product. Use everything we have. I have people go, well, I don't want to spend money. I go, did you try this? Did you try the new glutathione? Did you try? You have to use everything. There's no excuse. You're a business. It's your business. You need to be a CEO of your own company and buy everything we have and use it. Now, I can't say you're going to buy it all the time, but at least try it and use it. Number three is never miss a weekly call. My husband has a saying, it's like shaving. There's a big time football coach that says if you don't, recruiting is like shaving. You know, a couple days after you don't, shave, it's noticeable. Well, it's noticeable in this business. And I'm saying recruit from a customer to somebody just trying the product to a person that you're looking at for a business partner. Always recruit. And I think I learned that. And then just learn to be grateful. I mean, this is some luck. There's some hard knocks, and all of us have tough times. I mean, Dani, I can tell you, I heard some of the great stories you heard prior when we first started, and I just admire you for hanging in there. I mean, when they were arresting grandma at Disney, I probably would have quit. I was like, okay, I'm out. But you didn't, and I'm so thankful you didn't. So thank you, and thanks for letting me be on tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Love having you here, and your energy, it speaks for itself. I think you can feel her passion and her purpose and hear it in her voice. And Lee, you said something really impactful, and I agree with you. You've never seen anything like this in business. I've been in business for, all my life too, except I was a stay-at-home mom for a while and took a reprieve. I was at home, but I also felt like I was dying at home because I didn't have an opportunity to go out and be of use or to give back to the world. Now, being a mom is great, and I absolutely love it. It's the best job I'll ever have, right? I just adore it. But there was still something ticking inside of me. And when you can have a business where there are results, you cannot deny the results. They're just results that people can actually feel. And like you said, you get the goosebumps or you have jaw-dropping stories. We've seen everything. We've seen everything. If you haven't been here that long, you just wait. You keep getting that product in people's bodies. Robin and I were at a wedding over the summer, and we were sitting down next to each other. There was a girl on the dance floor, and we're just overjoyed. This woman was on a cane, for 6 years. I cannot make these medical claims, and none of us can. But when you see things like this, and all of a sudden she's spinning around on the dance floor, her husband's twirling her husband's crying at every meeting. He says, I've got my wife back. Her sister's standing up crying. I got my sister back. When you hear that, or Judy Clancy, Kim put topical on her in her chair, and in one visit changed her life. One visit. Sarah Bullers, unbelievable. Her son gets results the very first night, right? And she's in shock. Same thing when I first got my first actual sleep, which I still struggle sometimes, right? Because I think it's all the excitement, but I also have been able to rest again. Look at the family dynamics between Robin and Mindy. Look at the dynamics between the families. When you hear Audra's mom, one of the most impactful things that she said, and I would tell it at all of our meetings, and you'll still hear me say it sometimes, is that she called, and we miss Dennis. He was a huge part of our story. His memory will live on forever. In my book, he was an absolute hero, and I know for several of you got to meet him. But he literally, Marilyn would say, he went from grizzly bear to teddy bear. He went from grizzly bear to teddy bear. When you hear a lady say that, or when you hear Robin's grandkids say, we like you on that oil, Grandpa. And he's like, what? Because he didn't think he was getting results. Robin got phenomenal results. I mean, overnight success with her. But he wasn't really feeling much. But guess what? The grandkids noticed. And he said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, you're not yelling at us when Cheerios are on the floor anymore. And he said it didn't even dawn on him. His mood, he was chill, he was relaxed, right? When you can start hearing stories like that, and some of them are just like that. They're not groundbreaking, but it's enough to improve someone's life, that is life-changing. And then you keep seeing and hearing all these stories. It's hard not to go out and share it with people. And sometimes you feel reserved because you're scared you're going to come across as salesy. Don't be that person. Give yourself that little shot in the arm that says, what if I don't say it? What if I don't say it to someone? What does that mean? So let this call inspire you. We are right at the top of the hour. I could stay here another hour. I'm so inspired. Still over 100 people on this call. But I like to be respectful of people's times. And I know that there are, people getting back to their spouse, and there's also, it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and, we've got people chiming in from all over the world. Thank you for all the kind comments, all of you. What I will suggest is we're on Global Impact, our team page, and I'll put a post up, or Lori will put a post up. If you can think of any other questions that you want to direct at one of these amazing ladies, just tag them in the post and we'll get back to you on the answers. But thank you guys. Some of you are crying. Some of you got goosebumps. Some of you are saying how inspired you are. And I just want to say this inspires me. I've said it multiple times during this call, repeating these stories, listening to you all talk. Now that I'm a Texan, I can say y'all. Listen to y'all talk on these calls. It used to be you guys, now it's y'all. You guys are amazing. Y'all are amazing. Keep crushing it. Don't give up on your dreams. Even if you have slow times, you're going to have that at times, and you're going to feel discouraged at times. It's part of life, and it's part of business, and it's especially part of this business. When people are coming at you from different angles, come back to the source, the power source. Let us be your inspiration. Let us plug you back in like we've talked about. God bless you guys. Take it one step farther and go out and tell someone new every single day. Okay? Don't go to bed tonight without thanking God for what he's placed in your life. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.